In our daily lives, we encounter various personalities, some of whom bring joy and support, while others seem to revel in causing harm and chaos. It can be a harsh realization to discover that someone you trust, whether a colleague, friend, or family member, might be the very source of your turmoil. Understanding and recognizing the signs of such individuals is crucial for safeguarding your mental health and well-being. Today, we will delve into the characteristics of an evil person, exploring how they mask their true nature with charm and charisma. By recognizing these traits, inspired by the teachings of the Stoics, we can protect our peace of mind and cultivate healthier relationships. The Stoics believed in the power of perception and the importance of living a life guided by reason and virtue. They taught that by identifying and understanding toxic traits, we can protect our mental and emotional health, thus living in accordance with Stoic principles of wisdom and self-control. This exploration is not just an academic exercise. It is a practical guide to fostering resilience and self-awareness in our interactions. We will uncover 5 telltale signs of an evil person and discuss practical strategies for dealing with such individuals. Stay with us as we embark on this journey of self-awareness and resilience. Chapter 1. The Charm and Charisma Facade. One of the most perplexing and dangerous traits of an evil person is their ability to charm and captivate those around them. At first glance, these individuals seem like the perfect person, witty, engaging, and seemingly genuinely interested in your life. They have a unique ability to make everyone around them feel special and valued. This charm, however, is often a carefully constructed facade designed to gain your trust and manipulate you. The Stoics teach us to look beyond the surface and seek the truth through rational thought and observation. Over time, you might start to notice little cracks in their facade. They always need to be the center of attention, often overshadowing others in social settings. They might talk over you, interrupt you, or subtly put you down in front of others. These behaviors are not just quirks or signs of an extroverted personality, they are red flags. The Stoics would advise us to observe these behaviors with a clear mind, unclouded by the initial excitement of their charisma. Imagine being at a party where this person is the life of the event, telling jokes and captivating the crowd. At first, it feels great to be in their orbit, but as the evening progresses, you realize they are dominating every conversation, making everything about themselves. When you try to share something about your life, they quickly redirect the topic back to them. This is where the Stoic principle of apatheia, a state of being undisturbed by external things, comes in handy. By staying emotionally balanced, you can see through their charming act and recognize the self-centered nature underneath. It's crucial to pay attention to how they react when things don't go their way. A person who is genuinely kind and caring will handle disappointments and disagreements with grace and understanding, but someone who is merely playing a role to gain your trust might quickly become angry or defensive. They might lash out or try to manipulate the situation to regain control. According to Stoic wisdom, such reactions are clear indicators of a lack of virtuous character. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to be wary of those who display signs of anger and manipulation, as these are not the traits of a rational and virtuous person. Moreover, it's important to note that charming individuals often exploit their charisma to build a network of enablers. These enablers, often unwittingly, support and defend the charmer, making it even harder for others to see through their facade. They might say things like, "Oh, that's just how they are," or "They didn't mean it that way." This creates a protective shield around the manipulator, making it challenging for anyone to call out their behavior. The Stoics would advocate for maintaining our own judgment and not being swayed by the opinions of others, especially when it comes to recognizing harmful behavior. Finally, the charm and charisma of such individuals can also lead to a phenomenon known as love bombing, where they overwhelm you with affection, compliments, and attention early in a relationship. This intense early phase can make you feel deeply connected and valued, but it's often a tactic to quickly gain your trust and dependence. Once they feel they have secured your loyalty, their true nature begins to emerge. The Stoics would remind us to remain vigilant and not be swept away by initial impressions, instead observing actions over time to discern true character. Chapter 2. The Lack of Empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It is what allows us to connect deeply with those around us, to offer support when it's needed, and to create meaningful relationships. However, some individuals seem to completely lack this essential human trait. They don't care about how their actions or words affect others, which can have a devastating impact on those around them. The Stoics believed in the importance of compassion and understanding as fundamental virtues. Marcus Aurelius often spoke about the interconnectedness of humanity and the need to consider the well-being of others as part of our own well-being. So when we encounter someone who shows a blatant disregard for the feelings of others, it's a serious red flag. Imagine you're sharing something deeply personal with a friend, hoping for some comfort or understanding. Instead of showing any genuine concern, they brush off your feelings or even mock your vulnerability. This lack of empathy can make you feel isolated and misunderstood. It's not just about them not being there for you in tough times. It's also about them failing to share in your joy or celebrate your successes. A person who lacks empathy won't cheer for your achievements. They might even undermine them or take credit themselves. This behavior is not just limited to personal relationships. Consider a boss who pushes their employees to the brink, showing no concern for their well-being. They might demand long hours without fair compensation, ignore requests for time off, or publicly criticize employees in a way that's meant to humiliate rather than constructively guide. This creates a toxic work environment where people feel undervalued and stressed. The Stoics would advise us to maintain our inner peace and integrity in such situations, recognizing that the lack of empathy in others is a reflection of their character, not ours. A lack of empathy can lead to even more sinister behaviors. People who cannot empathize with others may engage in actions that are outright cruel. Without any sense of guilt or remorse, they might lie, cheat, or even inflict physical harm without a second thought about the pain they are causing. The Stoic philosopher Seneca emphasized the importance of kindness and justice, teaching that our actions should always reflect our inner virtue. When someone lacks empathy, they are fundamentally disconnected from these values. Moreover, a lack of empathy often correlates with a propensity for exploitative behavior. Such individuals might take advantage of others' vulnerabilities for their own gain, showing no remorse for their actions. This could manifest in various forms, such as financial exploitation, emotional manipulation, or social betrayal. They might borrow money with no intention of repaying it, exploit someone's emotional weaknesses to gain control, or spread harmful rumors to advance their own social standing. The Stoics would remind us to be vigilant and discerning, recognizing these exploitative patterns and taking steps to protect ourselves. In relationships, a lack of empathy can also lead to emotional neglect. A partner who lacks empathy might fail to recognize or respond to your emotional needs, leaving you feeling unimportant and unheard. This can be particularly damaging over time, eroding your self-esteem and sense of self-worth. The Stoics believed in the importance of nurturing our inner virtue and well-being, and would advise us to seek relationships where mutual respect and empathy are foundational. Furthermore, individuals who lack empathy often have difficulty maintaining long-term relationships. Their inability to connect with others on an emotional level makes it challenging for them to sustain meaningful bonds. They might have a history of broken friendships, estranged family relationships, or frequent conflicts with colleagues. This pattern of instability is another red flag, indicating a fundamental inability to engage in healthy, empathetic relationships. The Stoics would encourage us to reflect on these patterns and prioritize relationships that contribute positively to our lives. Chapter 3: The Manipulative Nature. Manipulation is when someone uses deceit or cunning tactics to control or influence others to get what they want. It is a subtle, often insidious behavior that can be incredibly damaging to those on the receiving end. Manipulators are skilled at twisting situations, making you question your reality, and bending your will to suit their needs. This can leave you feeling confused, powerless, and unsure of your own judgments. The Stoics valued clarity of thought and the ability to see things as they truly are. They taught that our perceptions should be grounded in reality and that we should remain steadfast in our principles no matter the external pressures. When someone manipulates you, they are attempting to cloud your perception and distort reality, making it difficult for you to stay true to these Stoic ideals. A common form of manipulation is gaslighting, where the manipulator tries to make you doubt your own memory, perception, or sanity. They might deny that certain events happened or twist your words and actions to make you feel at fault. For example, if you confront a friend about something hurtful they said, instead of acknowledging it, they might turn the tables, accusing you of being overly sensitive or misremembering the situation. This can erode your confidence and make you reliant on the manipulator's version of reality. Manipulators are also adept at playing the victim. They might guilt trip you into doing things you don't want to do by making you feel responsible for their happiness or well-being. You might have a friend who constantly complains about their problems, expecting you to drop everything to help them, yet they are never there for you in return. They might say things like, "If you were really my friend, "You would do this for me," or "I guess you just don't care about me as much as I care about you." The Stoics would remind us to maintain our own sense of justice and not allow others to manipulate our sense of duty and compassion. Another tactic manipulators use is triangulation, where they involve a third party to validate their perspective and further isolate you. This can happen in workplaces where a manipulative colleague might go to the boss to complain about you behind your back, creating a narrative that puts you in a bad light. Or in personal relationships, they might tell mutual friends negative things about you to turn them against you. This creates a divide and conquer strategy, making you feel unsupported and more dependent on the manipulator. The Stoics teach us to stay true to our principles and not be swayed by the opinions of others, especially when we know they are based on deceit. Manipulative individuals often exploit your kindness and generosity. They might constantly ask for favors, knowing you find it hard to say no. Over time, you might start to feel taken advantage of and resentful. The Stoics believed in the virtue of giving and helping others, but they also stressed the importance of wisdom and discernment. It's important to recognize when someone is exploiting your good nature and to set boundaries to protect yourself. Manipulation can also manifest in more subtle, psychological ways. A manipulative person might use your insecurities against you, subtly undermining your confidence to make you more dependent on them. They might give backhanded compliments, such as, "You look great today, it's amazing what makeup can do," or, "I'm surprised you did such a good job on this project. I didn't think it was your strength." These comments are designed to make you doubt yourself and seek validation from them. The Stoics would encourage us to build inner strength and self-awareness, recognizing our own worth independent of others' opinions. In romantic relationships, manipulation can lead to a dynamic where one partner has all the control. They might isolate you from friends and family, making you feel like you have no one else to turn to. They might use love and affection as tools of control, giving and withholding them to manipulate your behavior. The Stoics believed in the importance of rational love, a love based on mutual respect and understanding, not control and manipulation. Recognizing these patterns is crucial for breaking free from such toxic dynamics. Finally, it's important to remember that manipulators are often very good at disguising their intentions. They can be incredibly charming and seem genuinely caring, which makes their manipulative tactics harder to recognize. They might present themselves as your biggest supporter, only to use the trust and information they gather against you. The Stoics would advise us to be cautious and discerning, to trust our own judgments, and to seek truth and clarity in our interactions with others. Chapter 4: The Need for Control. Control is a powerful and often destructive force. While some level of control is necessary in life, such as self-control and discipline, an excessive need to control others is a hallmark of a toxic person. These individuals feel the need to dominate and dictate every aspect of their environment and the people within it. This behavior can be stifling and dehumanizing, stripping away your autonomy and making you feel trapped. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-control and the ability to govern one's own actions and reactions. They taught that we should focus on what we can control, our own thoughts and behaviors, and let go of what we cannot. When someone tries to control you, they are overstepping these boundaries and infringing on your personal freedom. One common way people exert control is through micromanagement. In a workplace setting, this might look like a boss who hovers over you, second-guessing every decision you make and insisting on being involved in even the smallest details of your work. This not only hampers your ability to work independently, but also creates an atmosphere of mistrust and anxiety. You start to feel that no matter how hard you try, it will never be good enough. The Stoics would advise us to focus on our own efforts and maintain our inner peace, recognizing that the need for control in others reflects their own insecurities, not our capabilities. In personal relationships, control can manifest in more insidious ways. A partner might dictate who you can see, where you can go, or how you should spend your time. They might insist on having the final say in all decisions, big or small, making you feel like you have no voice or agency. Over time, this can erode your self-esteem and sense of self-worth. The Stoics believed in the importance of mutual respect and autonomy in relationships. A healthy relationship is one where both partners feel valued and have an equal say. Control can also take the form of emotional manipulation. A controlling person might use guilt, fear, or shame to manipulate your behavior. They might say things like, "If you love me, you would do this," or "You're just being selfish." These tactics are designed to make you question your own needs and prioritize theirs. The Stoics would remind us to stay true to our own values and not allow others to manipulate our emotions for their own gain. Another form of control is isolation. A controlling person might try to cut you off from friends, family, or other support networks. They might criticize your loved ones, create conflicts, or make it difficult for you to maintain these relationships. This isolation makes you more dependent on them and easier to control. The Stoics believed in the importance of community and support. Recognizing attempts to isolate you is crucial for maintaining your independence and well-being. Financial control is another tactic often used by controlling individuals. They might insist on managing all the finances, giving you little to no access to money. This creates a power dynamic where you are financially dependent on them, making it harder to leave the relationship or assert your independence. The Stoics would advise us to seek balance and fairness in all aspects of our lives, including financial matters, and to be wary of those who seek to control us through material means. In the workplace, control can manifest in the form of a toxic work culture. A controlling manager might create a culture of fear, where employees are afraid to speak up or make mistakes. This stifles creativity and innovation, as people are more focused on avoiding punishment than doing their best work. The Stoics believed in the importance of a healthy work environment, where individuals can thrive and contribute their best efforts. Finally, it's important to recognize that the need for control often stems from deep-seated insecurities and fears. A person who feels the need to control others is often trying to compensate for their own feelings of inadequacy or powerlessness. While this doesn't excuse their behavior, understanding it can help us respond with compassion and firmness, setting boundaries to protect our own well-being. The Stoics teach us to focus on our own actions and maintain our inner tranquility, even in the face of external control. By recognizing the signs of controlling behavior and setting firm boundaries, we can protect our autonomy and live according to our own values and principles. Chapter 5: The Enjoyment of Others' Suffering. One of the most disturbing traits of an evil person is their apparent enjoyment of others' suffering. This goes beyond a lack of empathy. It is a malicious delight in causing or witnessing pain. This behavior is in stark contrast to the Stoic virtues of compassion, kindness, and a commitment to the common good. People who enjoy others' suffering might engage in bullying, harassment, or even more severe forms of abuse. They might spread rumors, make cruel jokes, or deliberately sabotage someone's efforts. In more extreme cases, they might inflict physical harm or emotional torment just to see the other person suffer. The Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, taught that we should strive to help and uplift others, not bring them down. Imagine a colleague who goes out of their way to undermine your work, spreading false information or setting you up for failure. When confronted, they might laugh it off or deny any wrongdoing, but their behavior reveals a deeper, more malicious intent. They might derive pleasure from seeing you stressed, anxious, or upset. This is not just unprofessional, it is deeply harmful and can create a toxic work environment. In personal relationships, someone who enjoys others' suffering might engage in emotional or physical abuse. They might belittle you, make you feel worthless, or physically harm you, all while insisting that it's your fault or that you're overreacting. This creates a cycle of abuse that can be incredibly difficult to break free from. The Stoics would counsel us to recognize our own worth and dignity, refusing to accept such treatment as a reflection of our value. In social settings, this person might take pleasure in others' misfortunes, gloating over their problems or failures. They might say things like, "I knew you wouldn't succeed," or "You deserve what happened to you." This schadenfreude reveals a deep-seated insecurity and a lack of moral character. According to the Stoics, true strength lies in helping others and contributing to their well-being, not reveling in their pain. Moreover, the enjoyment of others' suffering can be seen in more subtle, everyday interactions. A person who finds pleasure in the discomfort of others might make sarcastic or cutting remarks under the guise of humor. They might laugh at someone's mistake instead of offering help or support. This behavior creates a hostile environment where people feel unsafe and unvalued. The Stoics would remind us to cultivate an environment of respect and kindness, where we uplift and support each other. The enjoyment of others' suffering can also manifest in the form of social exclusion. Someone might go out of their way to exclude others from social events or group activities. Enjoying the power and control this gives them over others' social lives. This can be incredibly hurtful and isolating, especially for those who are more vulnerable. The Stoics believed in the importance of community and inclusion, recognizing that we are all interconnected and should treat each other with respect and dignity. It's important to understand that this enjoyment of others' suffering is often a reflection of the individual's own inner turmoil and dissatisfaction. They might project their own pain onto others, finding a twisted sense of relief in seeing others suffer. While this doesn't excuse their behavior, it does provide some insight into their motivations. The Stoics would encourage us to respond with a mix of compassion and firmness, setting boundaries to protect ourselves while recognizing the deeper issues at play. In dealing with such individuals, it's crucial to prioritize our own well-being and seek support from others, whether it's talking to a trusted friend, seeking professional help, or finding ways to distance ourselves from the toxic individual. Taking steps to protect our mental and emotional health is essential. The Stoics teach us that we cannot control others' actions, but we can control our own responses and take proactive steps to safeguard our well-being. Finally, it's important to remember that while some people might take pleasure in others' suffering, most people are capable of change and growth. By setting firm boundaries and modeling positive behavior, we can sometimes help others recognize and address their harmful tendencies. The Stoics believed in the potential for self-improvement and the importance of striving towards virtue, both for ourselves and for those around us. Recognizing the signs of an evil person is the first step in protecting ourselves from their harmful behavior. By understanding these traits, charm and charisma, lack of empathy, manipulative nature, need for control, and enjoyment of others' suffering, we can better navigate our relationships and maintain our well-being. The Stoics provide us with timeless wisdom, teaching us to focus on our own actions and maintain our inner peace, even in the face of external adversity. As we move forward, let us strive to cultivate the virtues of compassion, wisdom, and self-control. Let us seek relationships that uplift and support us, and have the courage to distance ourselves from those that harm us. By staying true to our values and principles, we can create a life that is not only fulfilling for ourselves but also contributes to the well-being of those around us.